The sea, powerful, violent, and capable of taking away. We pull delicious fish from its waters. We bask in its beaches and swim in the friendly shallows. But the sea can be unforgiving, as giant waves can swallow our ships and take our homes underwater. Here are 7 of the greatest lost civilizations. Number 7. Ferdinandea. Ferdinandea, aka Graham Island, is shrouded in mystery and located 31 kilometers off the coast of Sicily. At least that's where it should be located. Ferdinandea has disappeared and re-emerged from the ocean hundreds of times. When it peeks up out of the waves, only the mountain tip is visible. Since Ferdinandea is constantly pulling a disappearing act, nobody can decide what country it actually belongs to, causing an air of international intrigue to the elusive isle. To make matters more interesting, Ferdinandea tends to have an explosive presence when it pops up to say hello, showering down volcanic ash before retreating into the waves. Ferdinandea has been spotted and lost since the time of the Punic Wars around 3 BC and has become the stuff of legends for those who would scan the Mediterranean for a glimpse of her shy mountain across the ocean. Number 6. Doggerland. Did you know that Britain wasn't always an island? Until about halfway through the Pleistocene era, it was a peninsula connected to the mainland by a vast stretch of land known as Doggerland. Doggerland was a huge, icy mass of land that stretched across what is now the North Sea. It fell victim to 2 catastrophic weather events. The first was rapidly melting ice sheets that led the sea level to rise and swamped Doggerland in its chilly waves. The second was a mega tsunami that towered 80 meters high over the condemned continent. It was caused by the Storegga Slide, which altered the coast of Norway and reshaped Europe as we know it today. As for today, the remains of Doggerland and what's left of its unlucky inhabitants only exist in history books and deep below the frosty northern sea waters. Doggerland and our number 6 pick are both reminders that we are all at mercy of the sea and its whims, and what was once solid land could be consumed without warning. Number 5. Zealandia. Zealandia is considered the 8th continent, and unlike some of the entries on our list, there is absolutely no doubt that it existed, and it is buried just beneath the waves near Australia. New Zealand and Caledonia are the remnants of what was once an enormous landmass that would have rivaled the United States in size before the ocean reclaimed it and sank it to the depths. What finished off Zealandia? Continents are positioned on tectonic plates, huge geographical features that dictate where the sea ends and land begins. These plates are constantly grinding up against each other as if jockeying for space on the surface of Earth. The tension can cause all manner of problems, from volcanic eruptions to tsunamis. Nowhere is the stress greater than the infamous Pacific Ring of Fire. It was these underwater sea explosions and continental skirmishes that drowned Zealandia and possibly condemned our number 4 pick. Number 4. Mu. The vast Pacific Ocean that stretches from the Philippines to Hawaii conceals a secret. A giant continent that was the cradle of mankind and contained an advanced civilization of telepathic warriors was condemned to the depths during ancient times. Its existence was discovered through a recovered Mayan text called the Mandrid Codex, and thus began the search for Lemuria, or Mu. The fantastical story of Mu has inspired writers and artists for decades for understandable reasons. It was an advanced civilization of over 60 million inhabitants and spanned the Pacific Ocean. The people of Mu were giants with telepathic abilities. Some say they were ape-like creatures who communicated with aliens. Although no credible evidence of Mu's existence has been found, it doesn't stop people from romanticizing this submerged, superhuman continent. The Stella Group, an American society that claims to be descendants of Mu, is intent on restoring their civilization. Modern vocabulary, such as the word luminary, invokes ideas of these ancient and lost people. How did Mu falter? Some speculate that it fell victim to the same Teutonic Armageddon that sunk Zealandia. Mu might be considered by most to be the stuff of legends, but we know more about the solar system than our own oceans, so what's to say that the Pacific depths don't hide a lost and advanced civilization? Number 3. Wise. Whether ill-fated Wise fell victim to carelessness or tricks of the devil, we will never know. Wise was an ancient Celtic city built by the King of Cornwall for his daughter Dot. Dot loved the ocean, and the below sea level metropolis was her paradise, full of arts, music, and thriving commerce. Wise was a wealthy cosmopolitan city protected by a dike and seawall that was only open for ships at low tide to keep the water from swamping the low-lying city. But now you've probably guessed what caused the demise of Wise. Who left the door open? In an ironic twist, Dot, who the city was built for, is responsible for its destruction, condemning her idyllic home and its people to certain death. Some say Dot was drunk. Some say the devil appeared and tricked her. Still others claim that Dot and the devil were lovers and worked together to plot the demise of Wise. However it happened, the residents of Wise didn't stand a chance. When the sea gushed through the open gate, they were trapped and drowned in a violent flood that buried the city. Number 2. Hy-Brasil. Hy-Brasil has nothing in common with the Brazil we know today. It was a fantastical place off Galloway Bay in Ireland, populated by gargantuan black rabbits and benevolent wizards who bestowed favors on people lucky enough to be washed upon its shores. Like Mu and other ancient lost civilization and lands, Hy-Brasil is thought to have been influenced by an ancient race of people, most likely extraterrestrials and lesser Irish gods who bestowed their knowledge on the wizards and its passing visitors. Hy-Brasil was a magical and peaceful place, hidden well by the ocean to shield it from unwanted visitors, attention, or other occupants. Unlike most other places on the list, there are no stories of Hy-Brasil suffering from devastation or a watery fate. Instead, it seems like the sea protected this special island, sheathing it in its mist and making it visible once every 7 years to a fortunate few. Number 1. Atlantis. No other civilization has captured our imagination like Atlantis. The ruined mecca of advancement, culture, and commerce that dominated the ancient world and was lost within a whim of the sea or the wrath of Poseidon. Far from being a city, the empire was enormous, larger than both Asia Minor and ancient Libya put together. It was also aggressive, attacking Athens from the sea and generating the displeasure of the gods. Most consider Atlantis to have sunk in the Mediterranean Ocean, famously within a night and day, giving her residents zero time to escape certain death. But others speculate that its ruins are near Bimini or in the Bahamas. Some even think Atlantis is entombed in Arctic sea ice, having been hurled towards the poles when Pangea split. Nobody knows for certain where the ruins of Atlantis exist, or if it even does. Plato's famous story about the mythical country located beyond the Pillars of Hercules could be completely inaccurate. That doesn't stop Atlantis from dominating pop culture, and mariners and adventurers will never stop looking for the fabled land under the waters of all 7 seas. Divers Cemetery, where 150 thrill seekers have perished. Egypt's Blue Hole is the most lethal dive site in the world. Yuri Lipsky, who met his fate at the bottom of the hole, accidentally filmed his own death. The video is difficult to watch, especially because Yuri's face is beaming at the beginning,